the old saying goes, if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
So today my mission is to find out what is a fake and real soy sauce. My mother has been bugging me. That bottle that I got her, she keep asking me, price, sweetness, right? All the taste lah. So can you please put my misery out once and for all? How do I tell if it's a fake or real soy sauce?
Wait, my kanchong mak. Alright, we haven't ordered lunch yet.
I've been kanchong since morning, man. Okay, alright.
I'll review to you slowly.
Okay.
In due time, I'll show you in due time.
Alright, so now I still got a few burning questions. I'll put that question to you first.
Okay.
The big question I have is, I see different soya sauce has different age. Right? It's like whiskey is like wine. Now the question is it really true that the age does matter?
Oh yes.
So what is the best age soy sauce in the whole world? Is it what, 88 years old or whatever?
Okay, so aging is a long drawn process. Okay, it brings out the umaminess, the more rounded flavor and a more full body kind of complex flavor.
Okay.
So just like how whiskey is aged, right? Whiskey is also naturally fermented. It's aged in cask. So we have the aged series, which ages the soy sauce in multiples of 12. So we've got 12 months, 24 months, so on and so forth. It brings out the umaminess because it remains in a vat for longer fermentation, where the vat is a seasoned vat and it comes with a lot of existing microbes that helps in the fermentation process. So people will say that a simple description would be that it's more fragrant, it's more rounded, it has that stronger aftertaste as compared to the non-aged series.
Understand. But what is the longest aged soy sauce in the world? Any idea?
I don't know, to be honest, because every maker has their own, but for us, we have a very limited, just a little bit left, not for sale, but it's 33 years old.
Wow, that's what, during your grandparents' time?
So that is just for...
But have you personally tasted that 33
you can smell it from quite a distance away because the aged process brings out that flavor. It gets actually more reduced, right, through evaporation. So you have that very fragrant. I wish I could show you, right? But our aged 12 months series is already very good. It's probably the best you can find in the market so far.
Wow, I gotta try that. And the thing is that, for me, I usually just buy a bottle of soya sauce, I use it for a couple of months, and I'll leave it, on my shelf. Again, based on my knowledge of hearsay, not through research, not through speaking to people like you guys, I was always having the impression that as long as it should be stored at a room temperature, no direct sunlight. But is that the right way to store my soy sauce?
Okay, so soy sauces are different ways of storage. Generally, we recommend that it be stored in a cool and dry place.
Okay.
So a cool and dry place could be your larder, it could be your fridge, so that the temperature is not too much of a variance. That being said, soy sauces, a better way also to take care of them is to make sure that when you pour it in your cooking, you don't pour directly. For example, let's say you have your wok here and your pot here, you pour, a lot of people just pour it directly like that into the pot. But you must imagine that there's a lot of heat, there's a lot of vapor that's, when you're cooking, that vapor that comes up, they might go in.
Okay.
So a better way is to pour it on a spoon first and put the spoon over the soy sauce.
I see.
So for naturally fermented soy sauce, you have to take care of it, right? Best way, of course, is to put it in a cool and dry place, right? Singapore's temperature is cool most of the time, but may not be dry. So if it's not dry, sometimes it might attract mold, especially on the outside if there's some of this what they call sauces at the side, for example. So best to put it in the fridge if you have space. If you can't, then put it in a larder, right? Especially for the range of soy sauce that we have, the virgin brew range, which is no preservatives. Of course, soy sauce, people would have different ways of wanting to take care of it, but these are the two most popular and most what they call easy to adopt ways to take care of Nanyang Sauce.
You know, when I get a bottle from you guys, big bottle, right?
Yeah.
What I'll do is usually I'll transfer it to another smaller bottle. But it's not technically sealed cap.
Yeah.
It is as when I want, I can just pour it, right?
Right, like a dispenser, right?
Correct. So, I mean, definitely it's exposed to air. Is that okay?
That's generally okay. Yeah, don't keep it beside your wok or your stove, right? Because there's heat.
There's heat.
Yeah, there's
so it
heat.
doesn't have to be airtight.
But nowadays, that being said, right, kitchen spaces are getting smaller and smaller.
Yes.
And sometimes it's induction cooking and all that, right? So, best pour a little bit at each time.
Okay.
Don't fill your whole dispenser, right? Just pour a little bit and keep the rest in a cool and dry place, in the cupboard or in the cabinet at the back or in the fridge, so that that minimal exposure. That's the best way to take care of it.
Again, right, I like to use my mother as an example. I learned a lot of cooking tricks from her, baking, tricks all these years.
You're a very good son.
I wish I'm trying. It's like she's a Peranakan, and she has these standards with food. So every time when she come and tell me, right, that is a good or bad soya sauce, right, her matrix of measurement is based on, is that soya sauce sweet? So to her, if it's a salty soya sauce, right, she said that one is bad, that's cheap soya sauce. So again, how do I know what is a good and bad soya sauce? So to you, how do you say that, okay, wow, this one is a good one? It's like, when we drink wine or when we pick certain meat, we know that is premium quality from the taste, from the marbling if it's a steak. But when it comes to soya sauce, how do we differentiate?
Okay. Now first up is to not get into trouble with all your mums out there. The best soya sauce is the soya sauce that they have been using.
Okay, is that a politically diplomatic answer?
That is general, right?
Okay.
From laymen, for most of us, the best soya sauce is the soya sauce that we grew up with, right? Because that's a taste that we have grown to love, and food is emotive, right? But if you're talking about a slightly more professional perspective, right? A good soya sauce is full-bodied, meaning to say that it's not just a singular taste, salty. Okay, or in Hokkien we say si kiam.
Yes.
Some you take already, your eyes.
Eyes also, right?
Yeah,
drink water.
Correct. It's just si kiam, and there's no other flavor to it other than saltiness. But a good soya sauce will have a multi layers of flavor. For example, you will definitely have salty, but you have that umami-ness as well. You have that sweetness as well. You have that aftertaste as well, right? So that it becomes like a multi-purpose sauce. In fact, all traditional sauces like us, Nanyang Sauce, is meant to be multi-purpose, right? So, of course, now these days when sauces are made using different ways, that's why you see in cooking videos, after you add soya sauce, you still have to add sugar, you have to add salt, everything, right? But in the past, soya sauce is meant to be all-encompassing, meaning it's multi-purpose. You add this soya sauce, a good sauce will carry that dish. So I can understand why your mom says that, right? Because it cannot be just salty, it's got to be also a little bit more sweet, that flavor, and sweet and salty goes together. However, I wouldn't say that is just the pure matrix. Sweet soya sauce means equals good soya sauce. Because then, for example, ketchup manis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Soya sauce that's sweet, right?
Yes.
It's very sweet. And
And
that would
cheap,
be,
right?
yeah, we there are many ways, but of course, from a soy maker, right? When I taste a full-bodied soya sauce, it engages all your senses, and even comes with an aftertaste. So after you eat already, it's like almost like you just had something that is.
And you still want you want it after that, right? It's not like one time and that's it.
Correct.
Right?
You want it. You crave for it. You salivate when you think of it. So it has that. It makes you, in a way, positively addicted to it.
I get it better. That it should not be something that is sweet. That means that's a good soya sauce. And I think like what you mentioned, right? Sometimes from a professional standpoint, as a soy maker, you may say that is a good grade. But for the individual, if they've been eating that soya sauce and they enjoy it, they may disagree. They may say to them, this is the best.
So I always tell them, the best soya sauce is the sauce that you love. But if they've never tried a naturally fermented sauce, give an old soy maker a try. Any old soy maker that traditionally makes it like Nanyang Sauce, give it a try, and you'll be surprised. A lot of our customers who have never tried naturally fermented are surprised and just overwhelmed that a soya sauce can be more than salty.
I got this habit when I buy dark soya sauce our bak kut teh, we will have dark soya sauce and the light one we will mix together. Put my chili padi there. You know, that's how I do it. And every time when I buy my dark soya sauce at the supermarket, I'll have this habit, trying to shake it and see how thick it is. If the ones that are a bit diluted, not that thick, I have the impression that that's not a good dark soya sauce.
That is
is that correct? Or
that's an urban legend, or urban myth.
legend. Oh man, you break my heart.
It's because
Okay.
dark soya sauce, right? If it's very thick, there's a good chance that they just add more caramel.
Yes, man. Okay.
You
It's
know,
more sugar.
yeah, more sweet, and it's just more caramel. So it does not mean that, you know, in fact, there are sauces out there that's just full caramel. There's no soy in it, right? And they label it as such, right? Because the gao is very thick, right? But the good dark soya sauce, of course, the best is, of course, if you have tried it, you add it to very simple food. For example, soft-boiled eggs, right? It's neutral taste. Soft-boiled egg doesn't have any taste, right?
Yes.
But when you add 2 or 3 drops of very good dark soya sauce in it, it just makes you perk up your morning, you know, recharge and go. And of course, dark soya sauce is best tasted after you braise with it, because most of the time in cooking is used for braising dark soya sauce.
Yes.
So after you cook, the fire changes the profile as well. So only judge a good dark soya sauce at the start and at the end after you have cooked it.
Wow,
at the start you use with eggs.
There is a
After
process,
that. Yes.
We just whack lah.
After you braise,
sauce,
like braised duck, braised chicken, soya sauce chicken, tau yuba, you know, whatever that you braise it with, you try that versus a normal soya sauce, I would say.
Interesting. So now, how do I tell if this is a good soya sauce? When I pick up from the supermarket today, my 2 indicators, all right, is the price point. In fact, it's not 2, sorry. There's a few, right? Price point, country of origin. I really look at certain countries and it gives me that comfort that I'm buying certain thing of quality. And you know, for me, it's looking at the ingredient label, right? Because it's part of my habit. So I don't really care whether it's labeled organic or not organic. But again, you know, you are the expert. You are in the soy making industry. So what should I look out for if it's real or fake soy sauce?
So tonight you can sleep well, Mark. I will share with you some general and yet at the same time useful techniques, okay? Before that, my disclaimer is that this list is not all-encompassing.
Okay.
Because with every new technique of identifying that comes out, there are also ways to counter it. Just like every virus has antivirus and all that.
Definitely, I mean,
so technology is evolving, right?
Ken, sorry to interrupt you, right? Because again, I wanted to know whether it's fake or real. My concern is more of the part that I do not want to buy a soya sauce that uses chemical, right? So for me, that's why we spoke about this in length, that you bring your own soy sauce out, right? So just to make sure that you understand why I want to get down to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So okay, first thing is, of course, like you said, look at the label, the ingredients. Now the thing about labeling is that not every country has the same labeling requirements. Standards, right?
Yes.
Different countries are different.
Yes.
So you look at the labels, and of course, if the labels have a lot of so-called chemicals or chemical compounds that you don't understand, then
don't take it.
That's what you're consuming, right? But if the labels generally is clean, right? And then the next step is look at the price. The old saying goes, if it's too good to be true, it usually is, right? So I have had customers who, went to a supermarket, they take pictures and then they share with me, this thing is non-GMO, no preservative, blah, 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 everything.
Yes.
And it's only $1. So caveat emptor, which is buyers beware.
I see some, they put all, organic, non-GMO, etc. And they price it at a very premium price. But when I look at the ingredients, it's also fluff. Unfortunately, there are still cases like that, right?
There are two ends of the spectrum, right? So that's the first thing as a consumer you can do, right? You can see the ingredient, you can see the price, everybody knows that. The third thing, what I'll the third part to it of the first technique is go online. Nowadays with technology, go online, Google their name, check whether they have had interviews done, they have had visits, do they open to the public to come? I think that's the best way, because then you know what's their methods. of production.
Yes.
Right? If any of these videos, usually the old and traditional soy makers, they don't have a lot of this, right? But for the ones that have innovated, they would have, invited people as well as some media, for example. If you are able to see for yourselves, that's the most convincing. So second way, again, is a visual test. So what you do is that you shake a bottle. This applies for light soy sauce. And you see that bubbles, the foam that is formed at the top, and it stays there for a pretty long time. Okay? Next, you turn on your phone. Okay, so this is what you call a visual examination.
So
you see that?
what color should I look at? It's
has
a
that
bit ruby red.
Ruby red.
Yes.
Not supposed to be black. That is amazing. It's actually ruby red. You can see?
Yeah, so if it's ruby red, means it's what? It's
There's
real.
a good chance that it is real and naturally fermented.
So
Good
what-
chance.
Okay, so what
Not
happens if
100%
it's,
yet.
so it's not supposed to be black.
No, not supposed to be black. And the third way, I think the best way is for us to try it. A good soy sauce after you open, okay, even through the cover, you can see this is closed.
Yeah, but I can smell
You
it.
can still smell that fragrance.
Yes.
And of course, when you open it, you taste it, it's not supposed to be just salty. Or it's not even supposed to be siap-siap or a bit like you have lemon, that kind of acidic kind of. It's supposed to be smooth, it's supposed to be umami, it's supposed to be fragrant and have an aftertaste. Even a little bit of sweetness in it. So it's supposed to be full-bodied. That's why I describe as full-bodied. Not just a singular, Hokkien we always say si kiam or kiam. You know what I mean? Yeah, so these are three ways. So I summarize again. The first way is, of course, do your background research, look at the label, look at the price, go online, look for videos of how they make it.
Yes.
Do they accept tours or workshops at their place, for example? Second way is, of course, visual. You shake it and the bubble, you see, from just now until now, you see through it and whether it's ruby red. And third way is you open it and you taste it. Right? Only these three is the safest guard. Even the first one or two alone, it might not be sufficient, but we do all three. Right? And then that gives you that confidence.
Just for my scientific understanding, what has the bubbles got to do with whether it's a real or fake soy sauce?
Because when it's fermented for a duration of time, it creates a certain natural
Yes. So it's
organic.
like kombucha, it's like kefir is gassy.
I don't know much about the other two that you
Okay.
mentioned, but for soy sauce, it's not bubbles that is dissipated easily.
I see.
Yeah, and these are rich in protein and
Yes.
all the natural goodness. Yeah, so that's why there are bubbles.
So technically, although there is a expiry date on every bottle of soya sauce because it's a requirement, but if I were to buy a bottle and today I place it in my kitchen, does that mean that it is an aged soya sauce along the years if I keep it? And is it safe to consume?
Okay, no, because aging does not happen in a plastic bottle, right? Or a glass bottle for that matter,
Alright.
because it is sterile. Aging happens in vats that is full of that asparagus mold and the different strains of the different flavor profiles, the microbes that's causing it to age. Just like whiskey is aged in casks,
Yes.
we are aged in vats.
I see.
So buying a bottle and putting it for 12 months does not mean
Doesn't
it's-
mean that it's then I
Yeah, doesn't
because
mean that it's
because
aged.
some people may have get that idea that okay, I'm gonna age my soya sauce.
Yes.
I'm gonna put it in a glass or porcelain bottle, and keep it there for 30 years or whatever. So it doesn't work that way.
Yes. But also regarding expiry date,
Yes.
by SFA requirements,
Yes.
do not consume past the expiry date.
But if I
But-
overkeep,
yeah,
how
so-
do I know if it's
okay.
already spoiled?
So what we offer to our customers
Uh-huh.
with a peace of mind
Ah.
is that with any bottle of Nanyang Sauce,
Ah.
if they have it
Uh-huh.
and is unopened, is past the expiry date, we will offer a one-to-one exchange with them.
That's amazing.
And what I do with that is I bring it home and I cook with it.
Hey,
Because
that-
we had
so-
that confidence,
Okay,
but-
not lao sai, you
Yeah,
want lao sai, Okay.
But it has to be unopened. Should that be a case, customers have that peace of mind to be able to do a one-to-one swap with us. We're happy to take it in.
I see.
Yeah, so that is the peace of mind assurance that Nanyang Sauce offers to the customers.
Okay. But that is amazing, right? Because that's from the value add that you guys are putting. But again, for most companies today, I buy a bottle off the shelf, and I put it in my home. again, I think before going back to that company and say, hey, I want to change this, what are the indicators to tell me that this is game over already, this is wrong, something is really wrong?
I think most of the time the best way is smell
Okay.
and taste, right? Just like if we have, for example, oranges that has been in a week or 2 or 3, right?
Yep.
It gets a bit dry in the fridge and all that. The best way is smell, taste, and if you have any kind of doubts about it, just let it
better
go.
don't take the
Correct.
chance,
Don't take the risk. All right. If there's such a case that you have a bottle of sauce past the expiry, then of course you don't consume it, and that's what the expiry date is for.